All right, so here we are looking at the domain and graphing it. So on the last one, we had to graph it, and this was an even number, so we knew that only positives were going to go in there. This one is an odd number, so it could be positives or negatives in here. And so what I'm going to suggest is we're just going to plot some points. And so I'm going to plug in 0, and that's going to give me 0. So that's going to be my first point, and so that will be there. Now, if I start plugging in, say, negative 10 to the 8/11ths, that's about 5.3 or something like that. So, we're going to be somewhere in this range here. Not exact, but pretty close. Good as I can draw a picture anyway. And you know what? If we have a positive 10, it's going to be in about the same position. So it's going to be about here. Okay. Now, what if we plug in, say, negative 6? Let's go down to here. Negative 6, if we plug that in, that's going to be about a 3.7. So here's 3, here's 3.5, so it's going to be about here. And if we plug in as positive 6, it's going to be about the same place. So again, about here. And I would say now, if we try 2, that's going to be about 1.6. So here's 1.6 is going to be here's 1, 1.5, 1.6, and 2, a positive is going to be about here too. So if we try to draw that, it's going to be kind of a curved line. It's not going to be an absolute value line. It's going to be kind of a curve like that. So again, drawing these by hand is pretty hard, but what we can do is if we want to see what it looks like better, we can go over here and say, okay, well, we want to take and do y equals, and then we want x to the what power? It was 8 divided by 11. And let's do our window. That should work. And so it looks like that. So again, it's kind of a curve and a curve. And so that's really kind of more what it looks like there. Now, what does it ask for? Does it ask for, oops, does it ask for the domain? Yes, so domain. So my domain is going to be what? Well, it's going to be all real numbers. No matter what I plug in there, it's going to work. It's just going to keep going up this way, and it's going to keep going up that way, no matter what value I use for x. What about here? So again, now I want to do x to the 0.5 and x to the 1.9, and then ask which function is going to be greater when x is greater, or which function is greater when x is greater than 1. All right, so I'm going to suggest we can plot points, or let's plot both of those into our calculator, and that will get us a kind of a quick version. So let's clear that out. And so we're going to do x to the zero point 0.5, and we're going to do x to the 1.9. So this will get us, a quick and dirty, and that's what it is. Let's start over here. Let's go to 0, and what does it look like? So that looks like that. So the red one is our 1.9, our blue one is our zero point 0.5. And so let's just kind of again, as good as I can draw, that's about as good as I can do here. So that's what I'm just going to type in here. I'm just going to put, what the zero point 0.5 is, and I'm going to put into that the 1.9. And so my zero point 0.5 is going to go something, and let's going to be, where's my 0? Here's 0. So it's going to go, and again, if we forget the units on the axes over here, this will help us a lot better. And then this is going to go something like that. And we want it at 1. Okay, so which one is bigger at x is greater than 1? Well, I probably should have this better over here. It's going to be actually closer here. I didn't, like I said, hand drawing, this is not good in my case. But if we go over here to our picture, here is the 1, and it's greater right there. Okay. So anything greater than 1 is always going to be the red one. And again, the red one is the 1.9. So this is kind of a general graph, but this is really, in this case, this is really, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5 and so on and such. And so this one, it says, which is greater than 1 when g of x is equal to x to the 1.9 is greater when x is greater than 1. Okay, so that's what it is. Again, I my hand drawing is not good. That's why we're going to rely on the calculator a little bit more on this one than we did before. All right, let's pause there and we'll come back for some more.